Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surbhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 15th of March. India has worldwide support to list Masood Azhar as global terrorist, says Foreign Minister. Pakistan misusing anti-terrorism act in illegally occupied Gilgit Baltistan, says activist. And politicians in Afghanistan stress on Afghan-owned peace process. And now for all the details. India has secured unprecedented support from the international community for listing Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit chief Masood Azhar under the UN Sanctions Committee, Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj said on Friday. India has vowed to continue to push for sanctions against Azhar after China blocked its move at the United Nations earlier this week. India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj said on Friday that India has secured unprecedented support from the international community for listing Masood Azhar, the chief of Pakistan-based terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed or JEM, under the UN Sanctions Committee. In a series of tweets, Swaraj outlined that the latest proposal to designate Azhar as a global terrorist enjoyed the support of 14 of the 15 UN Security Council members. Her statement came on the same day that France sanctioned Masood Azhar and froze his assets while showing its complete support to India in the fight against terrorism. This came after China on March 13th blocked India's bid to sanction Masood Azhar at the United Nations. Beijing said it needs more time to evaluate the proposal. China's move was widely condemned over in India, and members of the regional Hindu hardline Shiv Sena party took to the streets in India's northern Varanasi city on Thursday, calling for a boycott of Chinese products. The protesters burned an effigy of Chinese President Xi Jinping and demanded complete ban on Chinese products in the Indian market.
आज हम लोग शिव सैनिक उनका झंडा फूका गया और वहाँ के राष्ट्रपति श्री सॉम्पिंग का पुतला भी फूका गया और भारत सरकार से और इन सभी लोगों से मेरा अनुरोध है, प्रार्थना है कि चाइना का जितना भी सामग्री है उस पर तुरंत प्रतिबंध लगाए.
This was the fourth such block on Azhar by China, India's second biggest trade partner. Azhar founded JEM in 2000 and the group claimed a February 14th attack in Kashmir that killed 40 paramilitary police. India's foreign ministry has vowed to continue to push for UN Security Council sanctions against Masood Azhar. India on Thursday successfully tested its new guided rocket system, Pinaka, and man-portable anti-tank guided missile in western Rajasthan province. The indigenously developed missile is equipped with imaging infrared radar seeker and is effective for both stationary and moving targets.
India on Thursday successfully tested its new guided rocket system Pinaka and man-portable anti-tank guided missile in Pokhran in India's western Rajasthan province. The country's Defence Research and Development Organisation started with 2 tests of the enhanced guided version of its multi-barrel rocket launcher Pinaka on March 11th and then repeated it on March 12th in Pokhran, where India had carried out its nuclear tests. The anti-tank guided missile was later tested on Wednesday and the successful test was replicated on Thursday morning. It was seen hitting the intended target after its launch. The low-weight, indigenously developed anti-tank missile is equipped with state-of-the-art imaging infrared radar seeker and is effective for both stationary and moving targets. The missile has been loaded with a maximum range of 1.5 miles and can be used in both day and night time.
Moving on, Wajahat Hussain Mirza, a political activist, on Thursday highlighted that a draconian anti-terrorism act is being blatantly misused by Pakistan to crush any dissent simmering against it in the illegally occupied territory of Gilgit Baltistan. He said that owing to routine torture of political activists, the public lives in fear in Gilgit Baltistan.
A political activist from Gilgit Baltistan has blamed Pakistan for misusing Schedule 4 of Anti-Terrorism Act in the illegally occupied region wherein political activists are being targeted. At an event on the sidelines of the ongoing UNHRC session in Geneva, activist Wazahat Hassan Mirza highlighted that the draconian law is used by the Pakistani establishment to crush any dissent simmering against the establishment. He said, owing to routine torture of political activists, the common public lives in fear in Gilgit Baltistan and cannot even demand their basic rights.
And that's why normal people, they get afraid of raising their voice. Tomorrow they might be put in Schedule 4, which restrict their movement. They can't attend any political gathering, or they have to get permission from police for moving one place to other place. Their bank accounts are seized totally. Their property is confiscated. So therefore you can well understand how difficult for the political people over there to raise their genuine voice for political and economical rights.
The besieged people are, however, using every arrow in their quiver to put up a strong resistance against Islamabad, which has been extremely authoritarian in dealing with public issues in the region. Activists have long blamed that in the name of anti-terrorism law, arbitrary detentions, extrajudicial killings and persecution of common public and activists are committed in Gilgit Baltistan.
Meanwhile, activists from regions under illegal Pakistani occupation recently held a demonstration outside UN building in Geneva to highlight the gross human rights violations by Pakistan forces. They also lambasted the Pakistani dispensation over its claims of acting against terrorism and extremism.
Activists from Sindh, Pakistan-administered Kashmir and other regions under illegal Pakistani occupation recently gathered in Geneva to protest against the gross human rights violations being carried out by the Pakistani security forces and its spy agencies. They staged a demonstration outside the UN building in Geneva during the ongoing UNHRC session with the hope that the world body will act to stop the violations by Pakistan. They also lambasted the Pakistani dispensation over its claim of acting against terrorism and extremism in the region.
Pakistan is saying that she is taking actions against extremist groups, but practically she is not doing anything. Unless Pakistan will not change its narrative, curriculum, which is based on hatred, religious hatred, intolerance and extremist views, there cannot be a change.
The darkness has descended on my motherland. The human rights violations are unprecedented. And with all the struggle of Sindhi people, they are not stopping.
Sindhi activists also raised concerns over construction of mega dams by Pakistan on the Indus River and abduction of activists who were raising their voices against these projects. They accused Pakistan of aggressively pursuing construction of so-called developmental projects without any consideration of rights of indigenous people and the environment.
In news from Afghanistan, politicians are stressing an Afghan-owned peace in Afghanistan as reports of progress in the recent rounds of talks between US and Taliban in Doha came in. Afghan Chief Executive Abdullah on Thursday said, any deal on peace which is made in the absence of Afghan people will be unacceptable.
Amid reports of progress in the recent round of talks between the US and Taliban in Doha, some Afghan politicians have stressed on Afghan-owned and Afghan-controlled peace process, saying backdoor talks could have some sort of implications on future of Afghans and on achievements made in the past 18 years. Addressing a ceremony in Parwan province on Thursday, Chief Executive Abdullah said that any deal on peace which is made in the absence of the Afghan people will be unacceptable for the people and the government of Afghanistan. He said the Taliban still does not have a commitment for peace.
اگر صدای واحد مردم افغانستان و صدای برحق مردم افغانستان ما بتانیم تمثیل کنیم در دولت و بیرون از دولت، در وقت معلوم میشه که خواستار جنگ کیست و عامل ادامه جنگ کیست و صلح کی میخواهیم.
Former Vice President Muhammad Yuna Kanuni meanwhile said Afghans are still unaware about the details of these talks. This comes 2 days after US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad wrapped a marathon round of talks with the Taliban negotiators in Doha, where the two sides reportedly reached agreement in draft on troop withdrawal and counter-terrorism assurances.
More on news from Afghanistan. New police chief in Afghanistan's Balkh province, General Abdul Raqib Mubariz, took charge on Thursday despite opposition from former Governor Ata Mohammad Noor and his supporters. Mubariz said he was appointed to the post on the order of President Ashraf Ghani and that anyone who will resort to a hostile approach towards the system will be retaliated with full force.
General Abdul Raqib Mubariz took office as the new police chief of Afghanistan's northern Balkh province on Thursday, despite opposition by former Balkh governor Ata Mohammad Noor. Forces loyal to Ata Mohammad Noor resisted for almost the entire day against the appointment of the new police chief, but Mubariz took office while surrounded by commando forces who were deployed to take the situation under control. The new police chief said he was appointed to the post on the order of President Ashraf Ghani and that anyone who will resort to a hostile approach towards the system will be retaliated with full force.
ما با تمام بزرگا احترام داریم، احترام خاص داریم. تمام بزرگا برای ما قابل احترام است و هر کسی در مقابل نظام در مقابل حکومت می‌جنگه، ما در مقابلش استاد میشیم.
Meanwhile, Ata Mohammad Noor, who is also the chief executive of Jamiat-e-Islami Party in Afghanistan, has said that the new appointment violates the agreement he had reached with President Ghani last year. Noor called on the people in the province not to go to work and shut their businesses in protest of the controversial appointment.
A fortnight-long acting workshop was recently organized in India's northern Srinagar city to teach acting skills to children. The workshop was aimed at training them in breathing techniques and different types of exercises for their personality development.
With an objective of providing a platform to the children to learn new skills in the field of acting, a 15-day-long acting workshop was recently organized in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Scores of children across the city participated in the workshop and learned acting skills from renowned faculty members of the Film and Television Institute of India, or FTII. The workshop was aimed at teaching basic acting technique to the children, besides training them in breathing techniques and different types of exercises for their personality development.
कोर्स के स्टार्टिंग में ही जैसे कि सर ने भी अंदर बोला, हम सबसे पहले आनापान सीखा जो एक नॉन सेक्टेरियन चीज़ है, योगा में आता है वो, उसकी वजह से हम रिलैक्स होते थे. उसके बाद हमने एक्टिंग सीखी. एक्टिंग में भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीखी. हमने इम्प्रोवाइजेशन सीखी, ये सीखा, एक्शन प्रॉब्लम सीखी और भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमने सीखी. और सबसे बड़ी बात, सिर्फ हमने एक्टिंग नहीं सीखी, हमने खुद को जाहिर करना सीखा.
स्पेशली मैं कश्मीर के बच्चों की बात अगर करूँ, यहाँ पे वी जस्ट हैव 1 or 2 एप्लीकेशन जिससे वी कैन इम्प्रोवाइज आवर एक्टिंग, दैट इज़ टिकटॉक और डब स्मैश. तो ऐसे कोर्सेज, ऐसे वर्कशॉप्स की हमें बहुत ही ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि here we can unleash our talent under the guidance of masters of acting.
These kind of workshops are organized by the Indian Army on regular intervals to streamline the energy of the youth in a positive direction, besides preserving the cultural heritage of the province.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India has worldwide support to list Masood Azhar as global terrorist, says Foreign Minister. Pakistan misusing anti-terrorism act in illegally occupied Gilgit Baltistan, says activist. And politicians in Afghanistan stress on Afghan-owned peace process. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend and good night.